liberty, motherfucker!
Hey, how you doing, motherfuckers? It is July 7th, 2017. I hope everybody had a good Independence Day. Now, it appears that now that the Russian bullshit with Donald Trump didn't work and it went nowhere, and Trump won 30 some odd states. He got 306 electoral college votes. He's not going anywhere. So, the new line of bullshit from the leftists is, he's mentally unstable and he ought to be removed under the 25th Amendment. Well, I find that kind of rich, being that the man is perfectly fine. He runs an empire of real estate. He's been on TV shows, hosted TV shows. He's done many things. And his mental stability never came into question. Now, being said that he would pass with flying colors, I believe, any mental testing that they would give him, I would like to see the majority of these 10 Democratic elected officials in the House of Representatives and the Senate to pass the same test. Like Hank Johnson of Georgia. The same Hank Johnson that thinks that Guam's gonna capsize. He thinks it floats on the ocean like some kind of like inner tube or raft. That if you put 8,000 Marines and their family on there, 25,000 more people, it's gonna flip over. Doesn't grasp the concept that islands are mountaintops sticking out of the water. So you got morons, I mean, you could watch, there's whole loops on YouTube of Hank Johnson making an ass out of himself in public. And they still, I wonder about his constituents, because if they're electing this guy, which probably, I would say if he's got a 70 IQ, that's probably high. If he's not suffering from idiocy, I don't know who is. They keep electing him, so if he's the smartest man in that district, oh God. Then you got Nancy Pelosi. The one that babbles and chatters, tells us that we have to pass bills in order to see what's in them. The one that keeps calling President Trump President Bush, even though there hasn't been a Bush near the White House in over 8 years. And what about Maxine Waters? Another one with a 70 IQ if we're lucky. I'm gonna impeach that Donald Trump. I'm gonna impeach him. I don't think she knows what the word impeach means. I really don't. She's another one with a 70 IQ that goes in front of a camera and embarrasses herself time after time. And then we have Dianne Feinstein, Barbara Boxer, Chuck Schumer, Al Franken, Harry Reid, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Elizabeth Warren. Ooh! That is 1 in 8 billionth American Indian. So she can get some free college. I bet you if she took a DNA test, a blood test, piss test, hair follicle test, she's not an Indian whatsoever. I don't believe it. She's more white than I am. Blonde hair, blue eye squaw. I don't think so. So you have these liars, these morons, these idiots. Really, I mean, there's 10 cases of imbecility right here. I'll tell you what, though. Some of them do kind of make sense. Like Al Franken, I don't know much about him. So I really... Except, he was just a failed comedian. Become, congressman or senator or whatever the hell he is. But my point is, these are morons that are mentally ill in their own right. Or else they wouldn't be friggin' leftists. They follow our Constitution, whether they liked it or not, because that is the law of the land. You don't get to choose that, the Second Amendment doesn't mean what it says. You know, you don't get to choose that the First Amendment doesn't really mean what it says. Or you get to put things into the Constitution that aren't there, like the separation of church and state. Show me where that is in the Constitution. And when you're thinking about interpreting in amendments to fit your twisted desires, what happens if somebody went in, and thank you, Andrew Wilkow, for this analogy, which is very good. What if we went to the 13th Amendment and said, you know, we really don't think it means what it says, and, you know, it's not really clear, and there's got to be a gray area, so I'm going to go hold some slaves. And what are you going to do about it? No, that's rock solid. See, that's what I mean. Some amendments are rock solid, they mean what they mean, and that's it. And the ones the leftists don't like, they're the ones open to interpretation. They're the ones that are old and outdated. They're the ones that need to be, you know, disappeared out of the Constitution. And the only thing I say to that is, fine. You want them out of the Constitution? Have the Constitutional Convention and get it written out of the Constitution by amendment the way you're supposed to. You don't like people having guns? Well, have a constitutional amendment passed that says we don't get to own guns anymore. See, you know what happens is when you get to these points where they have to go to a constitutional amendment, they know the majority is not for what they're proposing. That's why they don't want to go there. They want to push these things regardless of what the people really want. See, that's the ideology of the leftists. Fuck what you want, we know better, and you're just a friggin' moron. Just pay your money to us and do what we tell you. I don't think so. Just remember, our Constitution and Bill of Rights reaffirms our God-given rights. And I'm going to put it to you as plain and simple as possible. If you come knocking on my door to restrict my God-given rights, I'll guarantee you, you're going to go up and meet God and explain for yourself why you're trying to take my God-given rights away. You will be before God, before you know it. Come knocking on my door looking to strip me of my rights. So, I think Donald Trump will be fine. It's more hot air blowing out the asses of the leftists that he's some kind of madman or something like that. And I say on top of that, we should start investigating these leftists for different fraud and sedition and treason, including the Tides Foundations, the Rockefellers Foundations, Rothschild, George Soros, and the like. They all need to be investigated. And you know what? Here's another one that's a good one. Thank you, Wilkow. The fucking moron kid that owns Facebook. Got 700 acres in Hawaii. All that leftover acreage that's around his property is going to be all low-income housing. So he can walk through the ghettos and the barrios and stuff on his way to his mansion. He'd probably fly over with his helicopter and just land. So, yeah, it really doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, these people mean so little to me, I can't even remember the kid's name. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to say is anybody that thinks Donald Trump's going to be like removed from office for being some kind of mental midget is a fucking moron in their own right. Have a good evening, motherfuckers! Ha ha! Hey, I want to change the subject for a minute. That CNN, the commie crap news network, I know that's CCNN, they have resorted to picking on people that make memes or little videos using the CNN logo, especially with Donald Trump involved, showing that they're fake news, crap news, anything mocking them. They've resorted to this. And I think the reason they've resorted to it is because they're pissed off because these memes and these Vine videos and these Instagram videos, they get more viewers than the actual news station does. I think that is why they're pissed off about it. But you want to put a piece of shit product out, CNN. you're not going to get any viewers. It's as simple as that. Nobody wants to hear your bullshit. Especially people like me that live in the real fucking world, assholes. So, whoever the last viewer is watching CNN, turn off the camera on the way out. Yeah, something like this.